Good morning, YouTube. On today's Quick Flick, we're going to review this Eddie Motorsports accessory drive kit. It comes with everything you need in 2 boxes, and it fits any big block Chevy.
Dad, Larry's here.
Well, I'm not going to call him Dad.
Even if there's a fire?
Don't push it, little girl.
Dad, I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
If it's into the life of celibacy, you flap those beautiful wings, sweetheart.
I don't even know what that means.
Nobody knows what it means. So like I said, we'll go by this step by step. It's pretty straightforward. First thing we're going to do is grab these 2 components. They go underneath your water pump. You're going to take the studs out that are in the package and run them through your water pump bolt holes. You want to see if these are blind studs or if they're open to the coolant passageway below. If they're open, you need to seal them. Our gaskets themselves, we're going to use an RTV silicone on both sides to ensure no leaks. Now that we've put our bracket on both sides, we put RTV sealant around both sides of this gasket. There's 4 gaskets total. 1 on each side of one of these brackets, 1 on the outside. We're going to take our water pump next. As you see, I didn't put RTV sealant around this yet. I just put it around the pump. We don't need to build up a high profile on this. We just need to cover the surface for a good seal. We're going to take the provided studs and we're going to tighten these down just as if they were bolts to 20 to 25 foot-pounds. Next, we're going to install the power steering bracket housing. Comes with everything you need again. It's going to mount right here at the lower part of the water pump housing. We're also going to go ahead and install the rest of the accessory gear housing. Again, everything you need in the kit, pretty straightforward. We're going to go ahead and get that on. Use anti-seize for these. Leaving these loose and just hand tight at the time will help ensure proper alignment. If I can't get it to work, then I'll just loosen them up a little bit, and we're going to leave everything pretty much loose and tighten it last, just to ensure that the threads start fine and everything works for us. Next in the kit is our supplied power steering pump. It's going to go right here. We use Loctite on these 2 bolts, and by the way, make sure you're using crisscross patterns on the water pump and the screws that hold the bracket on. It's just to ensure that it sits level. Before we put this power steering pump on, we need to use the hose connection kit that goes to this. There's a little plastic in here. Make sure you take that out, put this on, and then we'll go ahead and mount it to the housing. The power steering pump is pretty straightforward. There's just 2 bolts. Make sure you don't over tighten. Don't worry about the threads that are inside this. I assume it's because it's used for other applications, but for our application, you're just going to go straight through those. It's small enough to fit through the threads on the inside, no big deal. Like I said, put this fitting on, but first, make sure everything's tight. By now, you have a handful of extra bolts. These are going to go to your alternator and your air conditioner, and we're going to go ahead and put those on. They're supplied in the kit. Alright guys, next we're going to install the supplied pulleys. They're pretty straightforward. You're going to use some blue Loctite. I recommend blue Loctite. And that's just to keep any bolts from wiggling themselves loose. If you haven't done so already, tighten these collars down, tighten everything up, snug everything up, and you'll be good to go. For the air conditioner comes with a cover on it, a nice pretty cover. We're going to wait on that until you're actually putting it in the vehicle and you're ready to run that system. For all the pulleys themselves, the water pump pulley, the power steering pulley, they're pressed on. So you want to go nice and slow. Use an X pattern on the water pump and use a nice circular pattern, tighten it in equal increments, and make sure everything's nice and straight. Turn the pulley over and make sure it's nice and seated. Next we're going to put the tensioner on, and it's pretty covered. Before we put this tensioner cover on, you're going to need to get the belt on. To do that, you're going to have to use a 1/2-inch drive ratchet like you normally would on your serpentine belt system. You're going to loosen up the tensioner, slide it on, and then put this cover on. This kit went together very well. It's very compact. It looks like it belongs on this motor. And just follow any directions they give you as far as what to do with the alternator, disconnecting battery, warranties and stuff like that. Eddie Motorsports definitely didn't cut corners with this kit.
Larry!
And it goes together almost that quick.